Miran Nadina Ershkala Kayla. The people live in one another's shadows. We live for live shows. So this is the curtain call for an epic roadshow. We've a roll call of aficionados, artists, acrobats and gig goers, cooks, bookers and stadium riggers. From the line check to the order of malt on the front line, this is who we are. Creators, responsible professionals, an industry of entertainers who've been mandated to stop, being the first to close down. This isn't art versus industry. This isn't asking for a handout. This is the entertainment business in crisis. And from small acorns, we generate billions. Our job is to make your lives better, and we have. You've turned to us for digital distraction. Now we urgently need you to understand the repercussions. Creativity takes courage. We need more than glib comments. These are the moments before the lights go out. But the elephant in the empty room is, we're all in this together, aren't we? And we helped make some of your best memories. So please remember, this is who we are.
Hello and welcome to agus Solas at the Living Room. What you heard there was a fantastic poem by Stephen James Smith, who I'm going to introduce a little later on in the show when he's back to us with another fabulous poem. So my name is Ruth Medjber, and today is a very big day for me because I gave birth to a book. Oh! The book is called Twilight Together, and the pages from the book are all around us in this room. There are 150 households surrounding us in our living room, and they were taken in their living room through the glass over lockdown. For those who might not be familiar with me and my work, then why are you watching the stream? I'm really joking. I am a music photographer. Or should I say, I am a music photographer who is currently on pause, as is the entire music industry. All of my guests here this evening have had their careers somewhat put on pause. So for me, it was important to invite them here to share my stage with them and give me and the fabulous crew and everybody else a little bit of a chance to reclaim what we have lost. Or should I say, just put on pause. It's not lost forever. So I'll tell you a little bit about the book before we crack on, and then we'll get to more performances, which is really why you're all here. During lockdown, I worked for 3.5 months every single night straight, and I travelled all across Ireland, all the way down to Clifton and to Cork and to Waterford and to Kilkenny, and I could go on. And I knocked on people's windows, not strangers, it was all prearranged, and I photographed them. I took their picture through the window. And I did it for loads of reasons. I did it because I was bored. It was born out of idleness, it was born out of boredom, it was born out of loneliness. Because let's be honest, the first lockdown was a really scary time for a lot of people. And I always feel like I had a bit of a head start on lockdown, as I'm sure everybody else did here, because practically overnight in early March, my whole calendar was cancelled. And I was looking into a very bleak year. And I had come from a year previous where I had been on the road with Hosier, and I had photographed Glastonbury, the pyramid stage for the BBC. And that was my dream job. I had felt like I had kind of made it, and then all of a sudden it was gone. So the book was a way for me to get back to work, to give myself a sense of worth again, to give myself something to do, but also to give me a chance to be social again, because I realized I am a very social creature. I rely on my mates, everybody in this room, just to keep me going and to keep my mental health stable. So I devised a little plan of photographing people in a way that could bring them happiness and also give me the sanity that I so craved. Then this amazing woman called Fiona Murphy, I know she's watching, which is great. She works for Penguin Random House, and she saw my series that I put on Instagram of all these windows, and she offered me a book deal. And at the time, there was a couple of little book deals resting in my inbox, but I went with Fiona because she was an Instagram follower, and she was an Instagram follower from the days of Arcade Fire. So I knew that she knew my work, and she knew everything about me, and she knew that I swore and that my writing was maybe not like amazing. But I decided to work with her, and then together we created a book, and that's what you see here. And in the book there is 150 houses, 499 glorious people, not including bumps that are now babies, including our lovely Lucy and John, who are behind the camera and in the next room. Their bump is in the series, and he is now a baby called Riker. I know, he's so lovely. And they had to get a babysitter for him tonight. So there's all these wonderful people in the book. And the thing is, when I first got the notion that there was going to be a book, I had planned on a fabulous big launch party. I was like, oh my God, there's going to be a book launch. And I knew what dress I was going to wear and everything. And this was pie in the sky. And then things turned again. And here we are in lockdown again. No one, I don't think, kind of thought we would be here where we are. But I still wanted to celebrate the book. But not for me. For the 499 people who were in the book. Because I feel like they deserve a night out. Because what you did for me was huge. Whether you know it or not. When you came to the window, when you agreed to let me into your life, when you gave me that amazing moment, and when you allowed me to share your stories, because in the book there are 45 stories of all different people telling loads of different tales of lockdown, all you guys gave me so much that this night is for you. This launch party is for you. So I really hope that you're watching and that you are having a glass of wine or a cup of tea or whatever, and you are settled into your cozy living room as well, and that you really enjoy the performances that we have tonight. And the performances, or the performers and the guests that I have are all really special, because I looked around this room right before we went live, and every single person in this room is in the book, and that's really intentional. I populated the book with friends and with people I admire, as well as strangers who became new friends. But I'm going to show you their pictures, and don't cry. Sinead's crying all day. Stop crying. Stop. You do have lots of issues, but that's a story for a different day. Okay, let's have a bit of crack, okay? Now, this is a game I want you guys to play. I'm just going to block her out of my eyeline. This is a game I want to play with you guys, and it's called Puns Win Prizes. This stream that is highly punnable. I want you guys to hop into the comments, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube. Stephen James Smith is over there and Colin Moore are over there, and they're moderating the comment section, and they are going to pick out the best puns, and they're going to put them on screen for us to read out. So don't let it be a pain, and frame it however you want to. I should just say that's not my pun. Stephen James Smith came up with that earlier. So yeah, if you can pun anything hilarious that we say, and the filthier the better, put it put it in the comments, and you're going to win a goodie bag. I would show you the goodie bag, but I forgot it. But there's I'm going to send loads of goodie bags. Oh, shush. Well, yeah, I told you this isn't Jules Holland. We're not professional. Put your puns in the comments, and you puns win prizes. Okay. So the first person I'm going to be speaking to tonight, when I actually finally shut up, is my amazing friend. He is an artist and an activist and a teacher and just an amazingly kind soul. He is in the book. Him and his partner Jonathan, I buzzed down to them in Tullamore, and they lined up a whole load of houses for me to spin around, including the darling Charleville Castle Gatehouse, which we all know from Castlepalooza, and I know a little bit too well. But my darling friend Joe Caslin was in the book, and he was a big part of this book in terms of how I went about it, but he also wrote the foreword. I couldn't think of anybody better. You know, when people are like, I was personally like, should I have a foreword in this book? I don't know, it seems like things that people do, because I've never written a book before. I don't know these things. And I put it on Twitter, and everyone's like, yeah, you should have a foreword, oh my God, da 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 da. And I was like, who the hell do I get to write this? I was like, I know someone who can speak properly. It's Joe! Thanks, Joe. You can, look, you're speaking now. Yeah. And you've only 2 glasses of wine in? 3? I'm joking.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's great, and it feels beautiful to be surrounded by your peers, your kind of creative peers, and that's kind of it's nice. It just feels like I've missed this. I've been away from it for like a long period of time. It's great to get back into the classroom. I've missed the kids, but I've also missed kind of my family.
Oh.
And this is a really nice place to be. And I think that, kind of in the first lockdown, I think that there has been a bit more acknowledgement of us and what we do. And, kind of people have leaned on the arts and leaned into the arts in a way that is maybe more so than they have done beforehand. And we're ready. We've always been ready. You know what I mean? We are the ones that will provide the lyrics. We're the ones that will provide that line or, kind of those words or that story or that image or, kind of we are there and that's how we work and that's how we get motivated and that is our essence. It's our emotions. It's, ingrained in us. And I felt that element of the lockdown was quite beautiful, that there was a leaning in of humanity into those that do have the capability of, kind of speaking or creating a language where, something is new. So when you, kind of pivoted from the music...
How many times are you going to say the word pivot tonight? Like,
Did I say pivot?
Yeah, you did. Because pivot is now like the new lockdown word. Everyone's like, you pivoted. You pivoted so well.
I
pivot.
suppose.
Pivot.
I can't, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I've certain words banned in the classroom. I sound like a dictator.
What okay, I'm going to let you finish, but what are the words you've got banned in your classroom?
Basically, literally.
Basically. Sorry, I didn't. That's the other thing I said. I was like, I'm not going to do Joe's accent, and here I go.
There we go.
Literally.
So yeah, I was in awe of what you did. I was there with you in Glastonbury. We were running around the place. I was there at your, kind of apex. You had invited me over, and Andrew had invited me over to, the Hosier, the last shows that was in the London Palladium. That was this time last year. And yeah, that's literally this week.
No.
Yeah.
That feels like yesterday.
Yeah, and it was beautiful to be there, and kind of for me to see you working and moving behind the stage, and to see kind of Hosier on stage and being that incredible artist, and then to see my work up there was kind of it was beautiful. It was a lovely kind of a story that was closed or kind of found its full circle.
Your work was there, wasn't it? We had Stephen Douglas, who programs Hosier's Visuals, put your amazing piece on the back of the screens when we had screens.
Nina cried power.
Because you're in the Nina video.
Yeah.
You're quite famous, aren't you? Which is really powerful because I remember that moment when I saw it in the Three Arena, especially because we were back in Dublin and I was my time with them was finished, and I looked up. I was like, Jesus, there's Joe's work, and then I had that funny sense of. Is this my life? Is this what I do? I know the person that took that photograph or that created that wonderful art, and I also know the people on stage, and I'm holding a camera, and this is my life. Yeah. I've had a few of those moments.
Yeah, it's lovely, and a lot of those. Like I was brought to that space by Sinead Burke, and kind of it's great that kind of women can lead those spaces, and that's kind of that's great. Kind of you as a female photographer being in that space is brilliant.
Well, that's down to the crew on the. Well, it's not just down to the obviously
it's down to you.
It's down to me.
It's down to you. There's nothing else about it.
No, and there's a lot of great women who pave the way, and then I just kind of like slide on through. So
no, I wouldn't say you slide on through. You took your own step. You moved with them.
And in the book, I have a lovely piece about Duchess, Caroline Henry, and Caroline Downey, the three major women on the Hosier crew, and Sarah O'Hurley is just behind you there. And I'm like, these are amazing women that run that whole like performance, that whole tour. And I just think they make it such a nice working environment for women that it's really enjoyable. And
there's a 50-50 split on stage, kind of when Hosier's on stage, is a 50-50 split of artists, which is great.
I know.
But back to, kind of...
Back to why we're here, sorry.
You kind of... The music industry was your world and is your world and continues to be your world. But then you had to stop and you had to find something else, and you had to be the best, and you had to, show your skill and create something that was pertinent and something. And it's unbelievable to sit here and to look at all 499 plus people and, all these beautiful homes. And you created a project and you created something that was of its time. We were all, kind of told to go home. We were told, kind of hunker down and kind of mind yourselves. And you were that kind of beacon. I remember when you came down to our little lane, and I brought out both of my real close next door neighbours. Like, there was a family that just moved in at the start of lockdown, and now they're great mates. And you know what I mean? And you were part of that story, the excitement of, kind of you coming down and, geez, there's someone coming in here. Like, it was like an alien had
That's kind of what
landed.
I found running around doing all the houses. Like, there's some points in this book, I'm looking around the walls because they just bring back so many memories, but there was streets that I went to, like New Row in Chapel Lizard, and I went to photograph Lorraine and Connor, two good friends of mine, and I had them and their next door neighbours signed up. But by the end of the night, the whole street was out dancing and having the crack and drinking in the street, socially distanced, don't worry, and just everybody had signed up to do it. So we have Twilight is only about between 20 and 40 minutes every night, so you're really against the clock to do it. So I was kind of getting a wiggle on. I was like, come on, we have to do this. So Connor and Lorraine are done, their next door neighbour is done, and then the other was like, can I be in it? I was like, okay, but we have to be quick. And then, can I be in it? I was like, okay, grand. And they were all like, oh, I'll put the wine down. I was like, no, just get in it, I don't care. And Connor is dragging his kitchen chair with them, and Lorraine is going ahead with the squeegee and the window lean. And it was just that kind of, like, that buzz of, oh my God, there's a bit of crack here, because these are people that haven't seen a pub.
I'm surprised that Windowlane didn't contribute
Sponsor
to this.
this.
Yeah, because the amount of windows that were cleaned in the days beforehand.
I think I must be the only photographer that has window lean and squeegee on my kit list, and a step ladder. This is it, and everywhere and dog treats, because there's so many dogs and cats. I've got cat treats. I'd have them in my pockets, and I just put them at the window, and then they get the dog excited because there's so many pets in this project that we had to get them to pay attention. So you learn all these tricks. You learn all these tricks. Oh, thanks, Joe. Though that was really amazing, and we're going to come back and chat to you again in a little bit, if that's all right. Brilliant. And just have more chats, because that's why I like you. So, my darling friend Sinead White, Shinners, Shinbin 2000, whatever you want to call her. Sinead and I were in the very lucky position to be travelling through Morocco right before COVID hit. And there was murmurs of this COVID thing. I think the first case had just been in Morocco by the time we got there. So we were really lucky to have a little tiny glimmer of crack and to get our last travels in right before everything changed. Then the world became a much darker place. But my darling friend Sinead kept me going with all of her crazy voice notes and pictures of her bunny rabbits. But also, she was one of the people that kind of Joe speaks about there that we lean on for their art and for their contribution. And I definitely, as a visual person, I lean on songwriters and poets an awful lot to help me kind of understand and contextualize and just generally make sense of what I'm feeling, because I can do it in a visual way, but I can't really do it on paper. So in the book, there is Sinead in her home, and I ran out and did her picture one evening, but as well as her glorious photograph where you do look amazing. I have stolen or borrowed the lyrics to your song, and the song I think that you're going to play next, which is "The World Stops Spinning," and that you wrote this during lockdown, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where, like at the beginning, or
at the very beginning of lockdown? We had just got back from Morocco, and I had got my leg got bitten by a bug and it turned purple. You forgot to mention that.
I wasn't going to say that.
You forgot to mention that, Ruth, and that was quite traumatic for me, actually.
It was. She had to go home early because her leg was massive and purple.
It turned purple. So anyway, I'd already had like a purple leg, and then COVID happened. I was like, you're joking me. So I was in my kitchen.
First swear word.
Sorry. I was in my kitchen.
No, it's fucking great.
I just felt very sad, and I felt very scared. And then sometimes a song comes out just as almost like, a sneeze. And this was... Yeah, a sneeze. And this was like a sneeze of a song. It just came out. So it was very stream of consciousness kind of. Do you get me?
Okay. And this sneeze was this was the soundtrack to my lockdown. I used to put this up because lockdown for me was atrocious. I was going out to meet these people every night, but I was getting into the car on my own, on my Todd, and I was bored, and I was doing these long drives, and then I was getting back into a car on my own, and it was weird. But I used to put her song on right before I rocked up to the window to kind of pump me up a bit, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. So can you please play your sneezy song?
Yeah, sure. This is called... No, it's not called a sneeze. It's called The World Stuffs Purple Leg, yeah. Okay. Bit of respect, lads, right? The world stops spinning for a moment. I can breathe. This feels like falling. This feels like the end. The guards came, took my family. I love too much anyway. This feels like drowning. This feels like the beginning. Keep your head up, keep your mind sharp, keep your hopes in check. We're not broken, split right open, it's not over yet. My head got heavy, my world got small. I miss freedom most of all, and this feels like fading on. This feels like everything's changing. Keep your head up, keep your mind sharp, keep your hopes in check. We're not broken, slip right open, it's not over yet. Won't you believe me when I'm bleeding, when I'm asking why? 'Cause we're not broken, slip right open, time to look inside. Did you like how I disappeared down there?
I did, yeah. It was
thought
just
that
like
was really
remix.
good.
I love that. I love it. That's like, it's definitely my favorite tune of the lockdown. Thank you. Yeah, that's class. And you're gonna come back and do another one in a wee little while. Okay, we have some puns in for puns win prizes. At some point, you're gonna have to join in with me for that. Thanks. Mary Murphy, hello. You say, Ruth, I love you. Yes. But that pun was painful. Jer Holland, hi. Wonder if my pun will window. I think it's glass, but others might think it's grawful. I love that. I love that. Girl, yes. I'm a big fan of that one. Okay, Carolina. My better half on the couch just said, Ruth is one pun hun. I'm taking that. I can't pun for shite, though. That's why I'm getting you guys to do it. Joseph Ben-Kanoon. Joseph Ben-Kanoon, who is also called Abdurrahman, which is the same name as my father. He is also, he's also another half Algerian, half Irish. Well, it's great, though, isn't it? Half Algerian, or we call her half-Africans. half Algerian, half Irish, and he has the same name as my father. He was the only other person in the world that I've ever met that has the same name as my dad, which I think is amazing. Abdurrahman. So come here, and he's in the book, obviously, him and Isabel and their baby Connor. So he says, I don't think you should be encouraging this. This is the last thing we need is another pandemic. Okay. There'll be no comments on who's winning this so far. Okay. I want to introduce someone else. The next act I want to talk about is someone that I have followed their work for many a year. Actually, right, it's Paul Noonan. He's amazing. Paul, did you know that this only just came back to me this split second. Okay. The first interview I ever did, right? I was 14 years of age, and it was with you.
No. Why are you springing this on me now?
Because this is what we do. I only just remembered it. So I was 14 years of age, and I was working. Oh God, this was disgraceful. I was like working these all ages gigs called Blast in the Temple Bar Music Centre.
Okay.
Yeah, and Rob Stevenson was this manager dude, and he was having, anyway, long story short, this is this like little mini television program pilot that we did, and you were one of the bands that was playing. He
was like an afternoon gig, all
yeah,
ages.
Oh yeah, all ages on a Saturday afternoon, bunch of kids. And he was like, you'll interview someone. And I was like, what's an interview? I was 14. God. And then I was standing on the stairs in the Temple Bar Music Centre interviewing Paul. And since then, obviously I followed your work and love your work. And you're one of the people that really kind of, you kept going through lockdown. And you pivoted.
Yeah.
You pivoted.
Did a pirouette.
Yeah, really, you started streaming from your front room, from the good room. Is it the good room, the front room?
That became that, yeah.
Okay,
it's one we actually use, though. So
yeah,
good rooms are generally rooms you don't use.
It's still a really good room, though. Yeah, so you changed really the audience, let's say.
Yeah.
And you started performing pieces for kids, but I watched them. And I'm not a kid, I swear. And I don't have children. But I just thought that they were really enjoyable pieces of entertainment that was non-COVID related, and that would give me a little bit of happiness and just silliness for an hour or two on an afternoon. So what's it, I mean, like, people say to me, it's like, oh, you've changed your entire focus as your career. Have you changed your entire focus?
No, I think, I mean, that... The shows for kids kind of evolved from. I actually was on I was finishing a course in music therapy, and I was on a placement in a preschool, working with kids in the inner city here. And when lockdown happened, that kind of very abruptly ended. So it was a way of initially a way of staying in touch with the kids.
That's so cute.
Yeah,
you were working in a play school with kids.
Yeah.
Oh
so we started the Facebook live stream with my own kids are older. They're 9 and 11.
But they still take part in it.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Yeah, they do. They're kind of the stars of your show. No offense, but
No, I'd be lost without them. They're watching.
You can just leave now. Get your kids in here. But I love seeing them dress up, and it's know it's really nice to see you at home with your kids having a giggle and playing tunes and using your music to kind of just connect with them. And that was really lovely. And then you did, of course, a Fringe show, right?
Yeah, we developed a show called the Electric Kazoo, because the kazoo would feature a lot in the show. And Fringe got in touch and said, would I bring it to a live audience? So the kids not being there was definitely, a bit of a jip. Yeah.
Could you not hire the kids, your kids?
Well, I don't know how appropriate that
child labor
would
laws
be.
and stuff.
Also, they were fine in the comfort of our own home.
You don't want to be a stage mom, a pageant mom.
Not,
no. I don't see you as that, to be honest. And you are, of course, in my book, which I'm very, very grateful for. And that was
somewhere.
You're somewhere. You're on the wall over there, but also you're on the mantelpiece, because all of my guests are on the mantelpiece today, including myself and my dog, because I love myself. So would you be as kind to play us a song?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
This again is a new song, and it's one made during lockdown, and it's called Window Pane.
So did you just pun?
Well, it's meant to be.
It is. I think it's highly relevant. Did you write this song after I came and visited your house and shot you
Well,
through the
it
window?
was it has a little creepy vibe because I
Because
think
that's what it was. You're like, why is Ruth out the window again?
because that sort of early lockdown was kind of pretty intense. And there was a real an eeriness to it, and I felt like I became hyper aware of all the noises coming from neighbors' houses.
Oh, really?
So I was kind of creeping on the neighbors, and that's the song was born in a strange way. Maybe I've overshared that.
No.
So this is called Window Pane.
I'm into this. Cool.
Yeah. I could tell it was you, the way the curtains yanked open, and I can taste blood. It tastes like a coin. Yeah, I could tell it was you, from the quiet complaints of the floorboards. Yeah, you know all the sweet spots, and I can hear your eyes, they rolling out loud, they rolling out loud. Look at this here window pane. I can breathe some breath there, write your name. Look at this here window pane. I can breathe some breath and write your name. I could tell it was you, the other side of the drywall, paper mache and rock wool. Yeah, it's gossamer thin. Hair dryer on, hair dryer off, ablutions in song. In the riptide in the morning, they pushing us along, they pushing us along. This here window pane, I can breathe some breath there, write your name. Look at this here window pane, I can breathe some breath there, write your name. My work here's not gonna last. These letters bleeding rivers all down the glass. These beads on my fingertips. I lift my hand to my lips. To my lips. I could tell it was you. To my lips. I could tell it was you. To my lips.
That was deadly. I like that. That was cool. Thanks, Paul. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready for some more puns win prizes? Puns win prizes, Joe. You have to say it into the mic, sweetheart. Look, you have to say it into the microphone, otherwise people don't hear you.
Sorry, lads.
You're not just talking to me like this.
It's like sitting in this sitting room.
In a weird,
Well,
like,
obviously.
socially distanced sitting room where I'm like, don't come anywhere
No, I
near
don't like
me.
puns.
You don't like
No,
puns?
they hurt my soul deeply.
Oh, well, I'm about to attack your soul. I can't wait for this. Okay. Megan Highland, right, let's see what you've got, girl, because you're a smart one. I'd only be delighted with a goodie bag. Mick Rowe, oh my gosh, okay. Well, if a window of opportunity presents itself, Elle Gilmore, Ruth, Glastonbury pictures are stunning. Thanks, I like that, that's good, just because you say my pictures are stunning. And in the moment photography, Ruth, your pun pained me. Okay. There's some stiff competition there in puns win prizes. So Joe, did you, are you okay? Are you still alive?
Yeah, I'll eke myself from the depths.
Okay, bring us back up to your level here. Let's talk about more art. You're the good one in this room. Like you're the one that's like, what's wrong with you?
I'm not the good one. Absolutely not, and you know that.
You're the teacher. You're supposed to keep us all together and make sure I don't say fucking shit and stuff. Go on.
Yes, well, as we'll move into the next section.
Have you ever seen Joe's Instagram? Joe's Instagram and Joe's real life are very different things, right? Because his Instagram is all serious and black and white, and he's a really well-respected artist. And then you see him on the tube at 4 a.m. and he's just like that.
Yeah. That night in London was some crack.
It was.
Anyway, speaking of nights out, you asked me to write the foreword, and
Nice.
it took, that was an amazing request to get, and I wanted to do you justice, and I wanted to kind of do the project justice. And there was, I remember it was years and years ago, it was one of the earliest festivals that I was at, and I was sitting on the edge of a forest as the sun was coming up, and it wasn't as beautiful as it sounds like that. Like anyone that's been in a rave in the edge of a forest
Yeah, I was like, this
knows
is very glamorous. It's like watching the sun come over as
No,
I
it was like,
tea.
yeah, and you're like going, will I keep going? Well, do I need sleep? And I was there, and in those times that you make these miraculous bonds with someone, and like 7 hours later, you couldn't spot them in a lineup.
Is this how he's introducing me? Like, I'm sitting right here, Joe.
But there was, I remember I met this girl, and as I said, if I met her again, I wouldn't know her I wouldn't know her at all. But she said something, and it stuck with me, and it was remarkable. And she said, it was actually, I did a bit of research afterwards, and it's an American philosopher that's kind of first said it. And she just said, we're all just walking each other home. And it's something that has stuck to me as I've been, kind of at the very height of my career. And it's something that has stuck to me as I've been at the very lowest ebb of my career. The idea that we're all there, that we all have the capacity to mind each other and to bring someone to their place of, kind of where they lie their head and where they call that most intimate place of home. And that's what this project did. It brought us, all home. It brought us, as I look around the room, it brought us all, to that loving, that place that, kind of that we are at our safest. And I think lockdown also made us reevaluate, kind of not our principles, our priorities, and kind of who we are and what we want out of life. And I think, what I have taken from, kind of lockdown or kind of parts of the pandemic is to love that little bit harder and to kind of find time for things that are the, kind of the most important. And earlier on in the week, you asked me to write out a couple of questions, so...
I just think this is the bit where Joe's going to make me cry, though, because what was it? We're all just, I hate you, like we're all just walking each other home. And I think that's really poignant because during the very early stages of lockdown, I would walk the streets of Inglis in my 2K taking these bloody portraits. And after each one, when I was done on my round, so to speak, I had a bit of a walk to head home and I'd call Joe. I'd call you. Oh, Christ. And I was so angry. I was so angry about losing everything. But I was also so angry about the Arts Council. And do you remember it was like, we're giving you €1 million. I was just like, €1 million. And I went nuts. Like, I was like, this isn't enough. We're not being treated well. We're not valued. Nobody understands. They're all there sitting there watching their Netflix and reading their books. And art is getting, art is what is getting people through this. But yet I felt that it was so undervalued by everybody. And that's changed now, obviously, and people have kind of copped on a bit and they realise the importance of art and the importance of music and the importance of poetry and the importance of just songwriting and everything else. But back then it felt like a very different place. It felt like at the start of lockdown that it was very lonely and we were being neglected and left behind. And I'd have the same rant with you every night. Oh God, I don't know how you stuck with me, but you'd talk me out of it. You'd be just like, you keep doing you keep doing this, what you're doing is important. And Joe actually mocked up a cover of the Irish Independent with my pictures on the front. And I didn't even have that many pictures taken at the time, but you kept repeating them over. And you were like, this is what you're working for. I see this project being big. I see this being on the wall somewhere. This is good. Keep going. You kept me going. You walked me
Yeah, but
home.
you had the energy and you know.
I know, but I was channeling it into like anger and rage
But
against.
and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what that's what happened to us. We were put into a place and we were put into a battle, and those were all emotions and really valid emotions.
It was, for me, it was fight or flight, and I fought, and I feel like I'm still fighting. Like, does everyone else feel like that? You're just kind of, you have to pivot, and out of the pivot and comes fighting. Like, you have to launch yourself.
Yeah, and you've made something like you've taken an adversity and you've made something beautiful.
I know, like the book's not angry.
Yeah. No.
The book's not angry.
So like I'm the opposite on Instagram. You're like the opposite in this book. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like vicious in real life, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you check out my lovely sweet book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not okay. Do you have a question? Was that what you were going for?
No, that was it. It was just the way that you caught home, and the way you caught the light, the way you caught the people, the way you caught kind of the energy that was in all of these spaces.
Do you know what? I was only catching what people were throwing out at me as well, though. And this is the thing I say, this is why this exhibition, which is going to be an exhibition, it's going to open up, hopefully, touch wood, with restrictions when they lift on December 1st, that people can come to this space, one household at a time, and I'll pour them a cup of tea or a glass of wine, and I'm going to have a little record player in the corner, and they can put their own music on to soundtrack their experience, and they can take a little walk around the walls and really take it in. So that's the intention for this. But the reason I called it Grog as Solas is because that's what people were putting out through the windows at me. Like every time I walk by and every time I finished a shoot, I just felt so lifted by all the love and light that people were giving me. All the 499 kind people in this book just threw out love and light. So I don't think it was me catching anything particularly. I think it was just them bloody throwing it at me. Like, thanks, Joe. But also the what I was saying there about me being visual, which is what I am. I don't really consider myself to be a great writer or anything, although Penguin, the lovely people in Penguin, would disagree because they had me write the book and I was like, oh my God, I can actually do this. But what struck me, do you know what I'll tell you? This book, initially, my idea for this was a video, and it was very short and very sweet, but I had this lovely idea in my head that I would do these pictures, that they would move, we go from picture to picture to picture very slowly, and I wanted my good friend Dahi to do a little bit of soundtrack on top of it, and I wanted Stephen James Smith to write a poem to go with it. And this was very early lockdown, and unfortunately it didn't come together because I like to pay people for their work, and funding this and funding that, and it didn't come through. So we all changed, but we all did amazing things during lockdown anyway. And Stephen particularly ended up writing a song or a poem during lockdown that was better than anything I ever could have imagined. He went into my head and picked out all the words that I wanted to say but couldn't formulate. That is what makes him a true wordsmith and an amazing poet and an amazing artist. And he's in my book, and the picture is him and his dad, which I just think is adorable, and I think his dad is watching now, so hello to you too. I think probably all of our parents are watching now, so hello Mammy, hello Daddy. Having Stephen in the book, which his poem Collectively Counting features in the book, I kind of wanted, as well as Sinead's song, I really wanted Stephen's poem to be written so that people could understand lockdown if maybe my point wasn't coming across in the photographs and in my own stories, because I feel like Stephen really hit the nail on the head with this. Everything that you can imagine, all the emotions and the feelings that you had during lockdown feature in this poem. But also the poem that we had that opened up this live stream tonight, Stephen wrote it for Epic, the group that is trying to get us kind of all back to work and get us looked after by the government and whatnot. But he wrote it, and it struck a chord with me because it's so poignant and so relevant. And again, it represents all of us, not just poets, but artists and musicians and crew. And I think there's a tendency to overlook crew a lot of the time, but really like everybody here that is working on this live stream tonight. So like Chris Ladantek on sound, and Lucy Jones and John Hennessy on camera, and Colin Moore, who's feeding me the comments, and they all pulled it together, but they're the people that you don't see on the camera. And normally I'm the person you don't see on the camera either. So it's the crew that are really at a loss here. But Stephen's poem gave us a voice, and I absolutely so appreciate somebody trying to represent what we do. So I'm so grateful for that, and I'm so glad he had his reservations about speaking it for this, and I kind of bullied him into it, and I'm really glad that I did. But I think you'll probably all agree. But now I'd love to have Stephen in the room doing his poem there, but it was less than 2 meters. So this is the other difficulty that we're all working within. We all wear our masks when we're not speaking, and we all have to stay 2 meters apart. But it's just, they're the regulations that we have to deal with in order to get on with our lives, and in order for this to blow over and to get us back to work properly. So I asked Stephen to, about an hour before we went live, to pre-record his bits so that he could take up the whole room, and that Shinners could play, sorry Sinead, I shouldn't use your nickname, so that Shinners could play piano. So they were pre-recorded. So right now I would like to play you Stephen James Smith's pre-recorded Collectively Counting.
Counting numbers is a functional kind of meditation, a distraction in the state of isolation. Let's make a decision to count to 10 together and find a way to weather this hibernation. 1. How many days has it been? Have you found a new routine? Have you lost opportunities, new possibilities, new faith in our authorities, or still the same old anxieties? How heartened are you by the charity found in our communities? 2. How many are trying to catch our collective breath, bereft of touch, on house party drinking too much? How many are drinking alone, would feel safer alone? How many are in the latest death toll? How many comparative charts do we need to console us? 3. How many expect an impending baby boom, something to look forward to amongst the gloom? How many Zoom downloads, jobs furloughed? How many had to look up the meaning of that word? 4. How many businesses with their backs against the wall? Yet how many received that welcome unexpected phone call, a break in the rent, a pre-order, we're in this together? How many are reevaluating what's reasonable? 5. How many have discovered creativity, learned the value of art, and opened up to their own sensitivities, baked bread to find some normality? Yet how many are still privately privileged in this captivity? How much increased capacity on daft.ie due to the decline of Airbnb? How many epiphanies? 6. How many unflinching journalists will be the catalyst to cut through the populist rhetoric? How many idealists, realists, wrap themselves in a flag at a time of distress? How many care workers or those in nursing home care will be redressed? 7. How many clap for the front line while sharpening knives? How many comply to save lives? How many hospital tears, slaunch your health but slaunch your wealth? How much politicking is still done with stealth? How many hands washed? Scars are being masked, sanitizer sawed, which disaster capital bought? 8. How many attempted suicides? Heavy hearts praying to God. I hear a light heart lives longest, Meron Cree e drummy fod. How many cherished yet died for this old sod? How many get by with a wink and a nod? 9. How many aftermaths? New abnormals? Fish in Venetian canals? How much collateral damage is within the rationale? How many great mornings and mourning greatly? How many memorials? How many air miles and carbon footprints saved, which implies rescue? They say this is tough, and aren't you? 10. How many leaving certs lost? How much will the college course cost? How many sporting occasions, festival gatherings, and built-up emotions need to be unleashed? How many empty streets, full coffins, open calls, closed businesses, quick fixes, stillness, slow down in this to what we bore witness? How much hope, resilience, reconnection, comfort, and thanks? How many? How much? How hard to quantify? How many are collectively counting numbers that are people's names, which gives meaning to our lives? How many found reason to notice the seasonal change and the weeping cherry blossoms blooming? How many were humbled by their beauty? As collectively we wait for their petals to scatter and fall all across Ireland and gather on our streets and lonely lanes, a sort of slow washing again of our pains on the living and the dead. How many will find healing when all has been said? one thing the distance has exposed. Our hearts need to be close, not closed.
Okay, I'm gonna read some more puns because I think you're firing them at us, which is amazing. Laura McDonough, we have to give a round of applause to Ruth for not losing focus. It's actually Lucy Jones on the camera, but I'll take it. Okay. Oh my God, Holly Pereira, amazing illustrator. Gwan, Ruth and Joey is big rides. Yeah, we are big rides. Yeah, but don't forget like Shinners and Paul and everyone else as well there. Holly, only joking. You're lovely. John Martin Tierney, you're ruthlessly rating these puns. I'm kind of going to favour that one because it's about me. Like Laura McDonough on again. Ruth, I so in love with your beautiful work. Everybody, that's a photography related pun playing on the ISO of the camera. Sorry. That's it with this puns, win prizes. Okay, I think we're going strong. So Shinbin 2000, do you have another song for us?
I do.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about this song? What's the crack with it? I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't actually tell you I was going to do this.
No, well, similar to Joe's experience at that festival with that woman that meant absolutely nothing to him, seemingly. This is a song also kind of written about that experience of like the morning in the festival when everything is like really clear and profound. You see like some chips on the ground and you feel strangely attached to them and things like that.
Is this like the time I was like sat next to like I was telling everyone, I was like, that was great crack at the campfire last night, and they were like, that wasn't a campfire, Ruth, that was an orange bin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll play the song.
Okay, you play the song. Take it away, Sinead.
Flashing lights and spinning circles. Lost my love, lost my head. You look like a decent person. Try be someone else instead. I just wanted to feel real love. I wanted destruction. I wanted the pain. Open me up and find the solution. Don't remind me of who I am, 'cause I'm caught in the cold. Overflow of empty feelings, like gold true colors fade to red. And am I just an ancient being trapped in someone else's illusion? Won't you tell me when you find out? 'Cause I just wanted to feel real love. I wanted destruction. Yeah, I wanted the pain. Open me up and find the 'cause I'm cutting the cord. Cutting the cord. 'Cause I'm cutting the cord. Cutting the cord. 'Cause I'm cutting the cord. Cutting the cord. Cutting the cord. You said I should.
I love that. Thank you very much. That was really nice. So we're going to crack on now, and Mr. Paul Noonan is going to do us another song, if you don't mind at all. Thank you.
So this is a song, I think, as the pox seems to prey on people with underlying conditions, it's I won't say the word.
Oh, we're not saying the word. Are we not? Okay.
I think you mentioned it earlier, like
Pox is way better. Like.
the pox. It's I didn't realize that was the gas. The gasness
I think it
of
might be the nice Festino wine.
Okay.
You do, yeah. Sorry, Paul. Go.
That's all right. I think you mentioned it earlier, Ruth, about people's mental health being sort of quite tested at this time, and so in the same way, I think people with existing anxieties and stuff going on have had a really, really hard time. And I heard somebody from the Samaritans talk about their work at this time, and they described it as not leading people to the light, but sitting there with them in the darkness. And I thought that was a beautiful way of describing their work. So this is a song called "As the Demons Have Their Say." Is there a time for space and off, for an old-fashioned daydream? Is there a time for the hope rich, for the cash poor but well able? You say that you're close, but no outbreak of peace and no cigar. You say that you're leaving 'cause you're a bad noble and there's no good size. No, I won't lead you to the light, 'cause I don't know the way, but I will sit here with you in the dark as the demons have their say. Rolls in like an ash cloud, gets all up in your nose, gets inside your head. No comings or goings, it's a no-fly zone. They're all grounded in bed, singing sweet like a siren on a stage of thorns, giving you the glad eye, sweet relief of a shipwreck. No more pitch and heave under gathering skies. No, I won't lead you to the light, 'cause I don't know the way, but I will sit here with you in the dark as the demons have their say. And they kept it up, kept poking the nest of your fears, all these whisperings, sweet somethings in your ear, but you're not afraid to fall, more like throwing yourself from this place that might soften their cough, and you can step off with some grace. I hope that you'll join us and draw your legs under the table, and we can break bread and you'll eat all ever you're able. No, we won't lead you to the light, 'cause we don't know the way. We'll sit here with you in the dark as the demons have their say. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, lovely. You're such a dick.
Sorry, that was a move. I'm sorry.
I looked around at you and you were walling. Okay. That's lovely because, like, in fairness, lockdown is tough. It's really, really tough for a lot of people. Like, and, I fucking hate you.
Sorry.
You did this last time when we did that soft productions night thing. There was a gig. Caroline Duke and Natasha Duffy put on this amazing gig, a socially distanced kind of mini festival, and he played, and I bawled my heart out for his whole performance because the severity and the grief and the weight of everything that has happened this year came flooding back. Because you said something poignant because you're a smart bastard, and it all came flooding back, and I bawled and bawled. Because I think when you're just holding something in for so long, which I have been, and I've been fighting and working, and it was great. It was an amazing performance, and what you said was beautiful. But I really love that song because, I think the reason behind this night tonight was is to celebrate the book, but it's also to hopefully show to people at home that they're not alone, that even though you might be sitting there tonight in lockdown on your own in your living room, you're not alone, that we're here in this make-believe living room here. I'm sorry I've ruined my makeup, but that we're here with you, and even though we're having the laughs and we're telling puns and it's a bit of crack, I think it's important to reach out to people. And this was my point with Puns Win Prizes, that I wanted you to feel part of what we're doing tonight. I want you to know that this is for you, and this is that art is for you, that music is for you, and poetry and everything that you see around you that we all spend our time creating. It's all for you guys, and it's also that we don't feel this loneliness, this horrible loneliness that lockdown brings. This is ridiculous. Sinead, say something funny.
Well,
I know. You can't, okay,
but
whatever.
just on that, I mean, I want to say thank you for bringing us together, because we like I was thinking earlier about the rhythm of this day is like a gig, and how much we miss that, like the sound check, the food, the build up to the showtime, the
I had a
20
call
minutes,
sheet.
10 minutes.
Call
It's been amazing to sort of feel that again. So thank you for bringing us
and
together.
thank you guys for doing this, because this has just been, I was sitting there watching you play. I was like, okay, it's nearly over now. This is great. I can finally relax and enjoy this. So thank you. But also just, I wanted it to be like a little bit of solace in people's lives who are sitting at home and are feckin' miserable because you and me both, kids. Okay, so I think it's about time we wrapped it up and said goodbye. There's a couple of people I desperately need to thank because, like I said, this space is not just for tonight. We're going to have a series of live streams broadcast from here because I have been given a platform on social media, but also physically. This is a platform, and I wanted to share it with people who have been denied their platform this year. So other artists and stuff who have had their stages taken away. So everyone here tonight, but obviously more. So next Friday on the 13th, the great Irish band Bitch Falcon, they're going to launch their album with a listening party here, and May Kay is going to do an interview with them. That is going to be gas crack. You can totally come. You can totally week of up. I know, that's just going to be amazing. And then the following week, on the 20th of November, Claire Beck is going to do her Music is the Answer, her quiz. And we have amazing prizes as well, which brings me on to people to thank. I really need to thank the Dean, because this space that we're in at the moment, right, here's the crack. I'll keep this short because you're all bored. Here's the crack. I was looking for a gallery to put this on, a gallery that I could showcase 150 photographs, and I couldn't find one for love nor money, even though people were really lovely and they wanted to help me and stuff, which is fab. But everybody's spaces were booked because, of course, they had 4 months where they couldn't show anything, so all those really deserving artists got moved up in the calendar. So when it came time for me to show, there's no space, there's no room in the inn for Ruthie. So the Dean Arts Studio was created. And it's this fabulous space on Harcourt Street, and you can probably hear the old Lewis pop buzzing by there. And the Dean gave me this space to convert into a gallery, and without them we wouldn't be sitting here. So I really appreciate what they've done, and I'm going to be telling you more about that over social media another time. But I also want to thank IKEA for furnishing the feckin' place for us. Like, isn't this cozy as hell? Everything that you see here, from all of the lamps that I asked for, and the rugs and the tables and the furniture, like Sinead's amazing mustard couch and stuff, and even down to the wine glasses, have all been provided by IKEA. The wine has been provided by Festino Wine. Thank you very much. That had helped me immensely. Everything was like generously supported by Accenture, should I say? And they were just brilliant. They stepped in and helped me when I needed help. So thank you for putting us all to work and letting us get on and doing the things that we love. Our crew. Lucy Jones, my VFF, I can't even begin. Lucy is my best friend since I was 14. She's ridiculous and I love her. And her husband, John Hennessy, and their child, Riker, who is at home now parentless because I borrowed them for the evening. I'm so sorry, Riker, but I will put you in a book. Chris Ledantec on sound. Colin Moore on comments. Stephen James Smith on comments as well. He's over there in the corner. Owen Kilkenny and Sarah Kelly. And then I guess the only other people to thank is my guests and performers. Artist extraordinaire Joe Caslin, Shinners Blanco, Sinead White, love you, Paul Noonan, of course, and you can't see him, but he's there, and we love him, Stephen James Smith. Yeah. All right, before we go though, we do have to announce the owl winner of. Can I do it one more time? Can I? Joe is cringing here, cringing. When we were off camera for a second, he was like, "Puns hurt my soul."
Said that on camera.
Oh, did he? Okay, that's good. It's on camera. We're going to announce the winner of. Okay. So. Do we have more puns? Or are we going to just, no, we don't. Column saying, no, we don't have puns. Do we have a winner? We do have a winner. It's going to be flashed up on our screen. This is live television, folks. This is live television. Here we go. I didn't choose this. You cannot blame me. Do not get in my DMs being all upset. This ain't nothing to do with me. Okay. Oh, J.R. Holland won. Wondering if my pun will window. I think it's glass, but others might think it's groffle. Yeah. Well done, Jer. You are going to get a goodie bag that is going to have the Grog Solas Christmas cards, the Grog Solas tote bag, the mug, the badges, all this stuff. The badges and all the design was done by Holly Pereira, illustrator extraordinaire. I'm going to send you a massive big goodie bag. The goodie bag and all of its contents can also be bought from my store. Just saying, you know. And the book, of course, can be bought. Where would you find the store? Why, thank you, Joe. Joe Caslin, you're amazing. There's links at the bottom wherever you're watching this, but ruthmedjber.com or ruthlessimagery.com will get you to my store. You can find the book in Eason's. Eason's are great for books, you know. They do all the books and they're open. And any good bookstore will have them.
Nearly Christmas and you're selling?
Is it nearly Christmas? And would this make the most perfect Christmas book for people? Like, if you weren't sure what to get them, could you get them an old sneaky book of Twilight Together by Ruth Medjber? You could, and you know what you could also get? A Joe Caslin print.
But you could also get, are you selling Christmas cards or
I am, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of this limelight as well there, Joe. You know, Joe is selling everything, we all are. Actually, do you know what? At the end, wherever you're watching this, if you look down, there's links to every performer's page here where you can either listen to their music or buy their poetry book or all of that stuff and buy their merch. And it's really essential that you do that because art won't survive unless you put your hand in your pocket. And it's as plain and as simple as that. If you enjoyed the performances tonight, we're not asking you to pay for this live stream at all. We're not asking you to donate or anything, but I'm asking you to go and buy a product from these people that they have lovingly created. And if they don't have anything for sale, I'm asking you to share their work and become an invested fan in what they do and support their career, because without you guys at home, we wouldn't exist. Let's just be honest about that. Which brings me to the final point. On my social media profiles, you guys are... this is going to sound really cringy, but I don't care. You guys are my friends, and you were the ones that I turned to during lockdown when I was in my house. I'm not going to cry. Oh, shut up. Do you know when it got really, really quiet and really dark, and everybody was like, I lost a nail? Okay, back in the room. You know when it got really quiet and really dark, and everybody kind of cocooned. Everybody did. It was when it was really scary and nobody knew where they were going. My friend circle got really small. They were there virtually, but they were small. And I turned to Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and you guys got me through it because I started doing mad things like, guys, give me a word a day and I'll photograph it, and, you know, do this, and how are you? And I started doing live streams from my gaff with my dog and all this, and the back and forth I had with you was amazing, and it kept me really centred and really grounded and really positive and really hopeful. So every person that's bought the book, amazing. Even if you can't afford to buy the book, fucking fine. Like, just the fact that you're watching this is good enough for me. You don't have to put your hand in your pocket to support art. It's if you just like it and share it and you press that little love heart button, then that's enough for us. So I really appreciate everything that you have done for me. And the whole bloody thing is for you guys. Anyway, Paul, can you play us a song? Paul's going to finish this whole thing. Thanks for watching. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, Paul, for singing us out.
He said, I want to shine in the eye of Orion, but I drove my soul through the black hole. She said, oh, that's a wonderful way to wake me. But you weren't so nice last night. You're such an asshole when you're drunk. And he said, at least I'm okay in the morning. He said the three wise men came a long way, following that pinhole in the sky. Yeah, that one right there. She said, I don't believe in any old Jesus. If there was a God, then why is my arse the perfect height for kicking? He said, I'll shine for you. He said, I'll burn for you. He said, I'll shine for you. And that's what I'll do. Whoa. He said they're like headlights in the rearview mirror. Yeah, they're closer than they seem. And from this gutter, we're still staring at the stars. She said, would you go and shite last night? All you did was curse those stars. He said they sang to you of hope. He said the sun gives life and it takes it away. But like all the greats, it'll burn out someday. She said, I don't mind. I don't want to get bored. I don't want to end up beached on the shore. I want to be that star. I want to be that star. Oh, let me be that that star. I wanna be that star. 'Cause then I will shine for you. And then I'll burn for you. And then I'll shine for you. And that's what I'll do. Yeah, that's what I'll do. He said those were days of roses, poetry and proses. All I had was you, and all you had was me. All I had was you, and all you had was. That's what I'll do. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do.